Most leaders are busy. Few actually move the needle. Are you ready to stop blending in and start leaping ahead? See, most leaders out there, they overestimate what they can accomplish in a year, and they underestimate what they can do in 10. But what if you could flip that whole equation? Just leap ahead of your competition and make more progress in 2026 than most do in a decade. And here's the truth. Goal setting, it is broken. Most operation leaders are chasing tasks that will never move the needle. And today, I'm actually going to give you the playbook that'll work. Let's get real about what's possible and why most goal setting advice keeps you stuck. Numbers don't lie. Results are what matters. And this is the same 5-pillar system I've used to lead teams, train thousands of leaders, save companies hundreds of thousands of dollars, and drive millions in operating profit. And at the same time, building a business and a life that I'm actually proud of. It's not theory. It's what's helped keep me focused, energized, and performing at a high level, even in the midst of the chaos. I'm Miles Threat. Thank you for joining me for Legacy Leaders Lounge today. I help operations, supply chain, and manufacturing leaders build adaptive, high-performing teams that thrive in the chaos. And let's jump back in. If you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and start seeing real progress, this system will help you focus on what really matters, get results, and avoid burnout, no matter how chaotic things might get. I know what you're thinking. So what are these 5 pillars? How do they work in the real world? Let's break it down. See, if you want different results, you're going to need a different system. And here's what actually works. And it starts by you clarifying your vision. You got to clarify your vision in these 5 areas. I'm going to cover these 5 areas. But before we get started there, what I want you to do is I want you to step back a moment. And I want you to imagine right now that it's December the 31st, 2026. And I want you to define for yourself very clearly, what does success look like on December the 31st, 2026 for you? And you need to clarify it in these areas: faith, family, finances, fitness, and fun. Those are the 5 pillars. We're going to dive into those 5 pillars, but you need to look back. Nope, not look back. You look ahead. Imagine December 31st, 2026. What does success look like in these areas? Let's dive into the first one. Faith. Purpose-driven decisions. Get very clear about your why and start living it. Live it on purpose. You make daily decisions based on your why, and you live out each and every day around that. You don't let nobody redefine that for you. You clearly define it for yourself, and you start living it. Your why will help you control the urgency that gets you off task. Those urgent things that keep popping up and taking you away from your purpose. You see, your faith is that foundation. It provides that stability that you need. It helps you know what you really should be fighting for and what matters most. It also keeps you centered and grounded in the midst of the chaos. It is the place that you go to start your day. It is the place you should go to end your day. It is the place where you go to protect your soul, your emotions, your health, so that you can be that leader that you need to be in that moment. It is that place you go to when you face those obstacles, when you face those difficulties, that it provides that stability. It provides a place of peace for you when you're in the midst of that storm. And it completely defines who you are. And it's how you live your life. And it is from that point that you can make those decisions, that you can eliminate the junk in your life that gets in the way. You can eliminate the junk in your work that gets in the way. You can learn to delegate from there. You can learn to automate your processes from there. But if you don't define it clearly and know your why and why you're living it out and what your faith has to do with it and how it guides your life, you don't have a foundation to stand on. If you don't have a foundation to stand on, the next storm that comes by is going to wipe you out. So get clear on that. Determine that for yourself. And it might not be a popular faith. Who gives a crap? It's yours. Live it out. Make it part of who you are. Protect it. And then when that urgent, non-essential stuff that takes you off task, you can learn to eliminate it from there, because you've gotten very clear about what your purpose is. And that purpose is the best that you have to offer the world. It is the top 20% that you need to be focusing on, and you should be spending 80% of your time in it if you want to perform at a high level. The second pillar is family. It's creating that rhythm between your life and your work. It's part of your leadership purpose. And it's keeping that part of your life outside of your work in harmony. Because if that part of your life outside of your work is chaotic, you're going to suffer. Your work is going to suffer. Your leadership is going to suffer. Your team is going to suffer. Everybody around you is going to suffer. The people at home, your whole family is going to suffer, because you can't find that harmony that you need to find. And it doesn't mean that life ain't going to get hard. And it doesn't mean that you're going to have to work hard and color outside the lines sometimes, because that is reality. And reality in those situations is, you know, when you've colored outside the lines too long, that you need to reel it back in. And you don't need someone to tell you that. You know it. You see the signs. And before it gets too far gone, you pull yourself back in. Because if you protect your time and you protect your family, you're going to protect your presence. And you're going to be available. And you're going to be able to deliver. And you're going to be able to lead in those crisis moments. The third pillar is finances. It's all about money, 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 revenue, and wealth building. Yes, you should be tracking your progress in that area. If your role requires you to have a certain revenue goal within your organization or company or your business right now, you should be monitoring that, tracking that, doing everything in your power to make sure you hit that target and hit that goal. And it should be aligned with that purpose, with your why. And your family, they should be aware of it, because they know that's part of what your responsibility is. And when you have that goal and you have it set, then you reverse engineer your life and your work around that. And you help your team reverse engineer their work around that. And you cut out all the waste, all the wasted time, all the wasted money, all the wasted effort, all the wasted meetings you sit uselessly sitting in that do not bring any value to you. You remove that waste. The fourth pillar is fitness. Your energy, your health, your mental clarity. It's all about you taking care of you. You've made your faith a priority. You made your family a priority. You made your finances a priority. You need to make yourself one. You need to make your health a priority. You need to invest in yourself, just like a professional athlete would invest in their health and invest in their body. The only way that they can perform at that level is because they take care of themselves. And they do the things in their industry and their sport to help them perform at a high level. And if you're a leader today and you're fat and overweight and you're sitting around drinking alcohol all the time and eating junk, you can't expect to perform at a high level. And if you can't have time to go to the gym and work out, go for a walk, lift weights, do the things that an activity sport that you enjoy doing to keep yourself healthy, keep yourself mentally fit, to energize yourself, if you can't do that, how can you perform at a high level? You can't. You won't. And I don't care what your title is. If your ass is fat and overweight, I ain't got no respect for you. I don't care what you call yourself. Because whatever comes out of your mouth, I'm not going to believe anyway. Because, hey, why would I listen to you? You can't even put yourself first and take care of yourself. Because those leaders who invest in themselves and take care of their health make better decisions, period. And the final pillar is fun. And this ain't fluff, okay? This right here is what fuels your creativity and your innovation. And you need to build fun in your life. work and outside of work. And the reason I put this in this framework in the first place is because I borrowed it. And I borrowed it from Thai culture. From living in Thailand for 13 years and working with Thai people, they valued work that was fun to do. And they found fun ways to enjoy their work. And I valued that. And that is something I carry with me today. And that is something that I put in this, because if you can't have some fun while you're doing it along the way, then why bother? Really? Why bother? The money don't mean shit if you can't have some fun with it. Your faith should be able to have some fun with it. Your family, you should be able to have some fun with them. Your finances, yes. Your fitness, you should be able to have some fun with your fitness. Yeah, should it be hard sometimes? Most times it should be hard, but it should still be fun. And you as a leader, if you can learn to play and have fun with the people on your team, imagine what you're going to accomplish. Imagine if you could have fun over the next year, going all in, implementing every idea, everything that you're thinking about, trying to accomplish your 10-year goal in 1 year, and have fun while you're doing it, and just enjoy the process. What if you just enjoyed the process? How would that change everything for you? I tell you what, it would change everything for you. You'd be a better person. People would enjoy being around you, and you would enjoy life more. Think about how that would have impacted your health if you just learned to have fun. Have fun with your faith, have fun with your family, have fun with your finances, have fun with your fitness in all areas. Now, if you think you can avoid or leave out any of these pillars, you need to think again. You see, the leaders who win in 2026, they're holistic leaders. No exceptions. Now let's get tactical for a minute. Here's how you turn these pillars into real progress. Clarity beats hustle every time. Here's how you build unstoppable momentum. You heard of the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule? Well, here's 80-20 clarity for you. Once you list every commitment, every project, every reoccurring task, ruthlessly identify the top 20% that will drive 80% of the results in those areas. That becomes your focal point. That is what you do. And then from there, you delete, cut out, delegate, and automate the rest. No excuses. I don't care if you've been doing it for 10 years and you love doing it and you're good at it. If it's not in that top 20%, you need to get that shit off of your plate. Remove it. Finally, in your life, get rid of it. Give it to somebody else. Let someone else do it for you. Remove it completely if it's adding no value whatsoever. That's right. Go back over your schedule. Look at those meetings you attended all year long last year. What meetings right now do you need to eliminate? Just this past year, I was working with this organization that, for the life of them, they couldn't meet their sales goals. They couldn't meet their operating profit. And yet, they were sitting around talking about how they want to improve on their monthly report out meeting to their executive leadership. How they wanted to make it a clinic about how well they were meeting their targets. Well, what good does that shit have to do if you can't meet your operating target at the end of the day? They were spending all this time on it and then trying to improve on it. And I was just sitting there looking at it like, this is a waste of fucking time. By the way, those results, did they play an important role? Yeah. And it could all be in an email or a presentation you go back and read yourself instead of investing an hour and a half of your month listening to this that wasn't meeting the overall goal at the end of the day. The second thing you need to do is reverse engineer your year. You know how we started the episode? I told you, imagine what success would look like on December the 31st, 2026. Did you do that? You need to do that right now. What does success look like on December the 31st, 2026 for you? And imagine you outperforming your 10-year plan on December the 31st, 2026. Just imagine that. What did you do differently? Then you need to break those goals down into quarterly, monthly, and daily must-dos. You gotta look ahead, and you gotta know what success looks like at the end of 2026. And then break it down and work your way backwards and get to those daily must-dos. And the third part of that equation is those daily must-dos. Every day of 2026, you should have some daily must-dos. Reality is, you should target 3 must-dos every day. You need to have 3 must-dos every day that you gotta get accomplished. And you gotta identify what is that number 1 must-do goal for you that day. And no matter what happens that day, all chaos, all hell could break loose that day. No matter what happens, that number 1 goal, it gets done. It doesn't matter if you put in 10 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours, 16 hours, whatever happens, you get that one done. The other 2 can wait till tomorrow. But you move the needle on number 1. And you live every day like that for 2026. What would happen if you lived every day that way? And one of the best ways that you're going to do that is you should always focus on progress over perfection to keep that momentum going. As long as you're making one step in the right direction. And those little small wins make you unstoppable and keep you going towards your goal. If you want to leapfrog your competition right now, and you can get very clear about what success looks like at the end of 2026, and you can reverse engineer it for yourself and define those daily must-dos and get that number 1 thing done. And then you constantly operate in that top 20%, and you eliminate all the rest. Let's bring this all home and make sure you leave with some real tools. Most op leaders fail because they're too busy and not focused. Download your 2026 Legacy Compass Guide in the description below. The 5-pillar system designed to help you leapfrog your competition and build a life that you're actually proud of. This is the actual template I use with my coaching clients to help them break down their decade goals into actionable milestones that will help them get ahead of the pack. If you want personal feedback, book your one-on-one strategy call with me, and I'll help you break through the bottlenecks and set up your 2026 for massive wins. I'm Miles Threat. Thank you for joining me today for Legacy Leaders Lounge. Drop your boldest 2026 goal in the comment, and let's get after it.